Everybody. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift. Today we are in conversation with Mr. Pravesh Pandey. He is the founder of Bisi Bisi Uta and Reliski and director partner of Big Brewing Company. I think I missed one B. Oh, he's here. Let me just add him. Hey Pravesh, good
Hello.
evening. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening.
So I have to tell everybody that Pravesh has actually just got out of COVID, all for this interview. I'm taking all the credit for you getting well.
We just keep trying to change the dates every now and then. I'm really sorry about
I
it.
know. That's
Every
okay.
time I have given you a new date and then I had to push it. I'm really, really sorry about it.
That's perfectly okay. I'm just happy that you are absolutely now fit and fine, and hope you can be stronger because you have lots and lots of work in this pandemic.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep hydrating myself, and my body because
Okay.
the only exertion I can see right now is just talking and sitting at home and getting things coordinated at work,
Right.
and that's predominantly where the lungs get exerted a lot during this
Mhm.
recovery stage. So the best
All
thing to
right.
do is to keep drinking green tea and kada and water, and that's what I'm trying to do. So today also I'll try to keep myself. I won't talk a lot. I do understand I'll talk, but I'll try and keep it as short as possible.
Nice. Okay. I hope you have a glass of water.
I do have everything sorted out.
Perfect. I mean, you're lucky that I gave up drinking in 2020. Otherwise, we would both have beer, especially from your big brew. I
Big
missed out one
broski.
of the big brewski
Yes.
brewing company, BBBC. So you have one
Yeah.
extra B there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Perfect.
BBBC, correct. Big Brewski Brewing Company. That's right.
Okay, so before we get into the interview, I'm just going to read a little bit about you.
Sure.
Pravesh has 22 years of experience in hospitality management, business development, financial management, operational excellence, brand management, marketing, and strategizing. He contributes keenly to social programs, including through the National Restaurants Association of India, NRAI. His strong belief in developing people and helping them transform themselves to attain personal and professional goals, giving back to the society in terms of generating employment and empowering the blue collar workforce led to the launch of Bisi Bisi Uta. Bisi Bisi Uta is India's first QSR brand serving home style meals that are Shuddh, Arogya, and Taza at affordable prices while generating a source of income for the blue collar women and differently able people. That is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, that was a very long. Where did you get it from? My LinkedIn profile, is it?
Yeah, I'm not telling. Talkers don't tell.
Thank you for this wonderful introduction. Really appreciate. In a very short span of time, a lot of things have happened in the last 2 to 3 years. When I got indulged into the hospitality business part with Big Brewski Brewing Company, I also realized that the responsibility lies in educating people in the country with better skills. And hospitality is that industry where you tend to provide such skills which are giving you straight away livelihood, right? And India is a second most populated country in the world. Average age of an Indian today is 29 years. We are the youngest nation in the world, and we still suffer with employability issues. So that gave the birth of an idea called Releski. Um, uh, Basically, the full form of Releski is get recruited by learning the skills you need. Right? So
Oh,
RELESKI, recruitment, learning, and skills. So get recruited by learning the skills you need. So it's a bit basically an edtech platform which works in multiple languages, Deepshika, where we can train them on skill sets in their own language by showing them and then give them employability in restaurant industry because this is an industry which is growing at a very, very fast pace. We are almost on a 9% compound annual growth rate in India. double household incomes of people are increasing. People are venturing out more and more. The world has become very fast paced, and everybody does not want to cook food at home. So while this whole India's face of consumers going to restaurants is changing so fast, we are also
Right.
thinking about how do we support this uh, so fast growing industry with the help of employability in terms of training them. So that's the idea about Releski. And then suddenly this COVID happened last in 2019, and in 2020 we came up with the idea of BCBC Utah.
Right. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start, if you have the strength, we're going to start at your early days. What was your childhood like? What were you like? I mean, were you always like in charge and organizing everything? And, were you like that? Whatever I just read in your intro, were you anything like that?
No, absolutely not. In fact, I come from a small city, the city of Ghats and Ghosts, we call it in quizzes. We Kashi, Varanasi. It's quite a fancy touristic place where um,
Okay.
I was born, and I was born in a typical Brahmin family. I'm a Pandey from Varanasi, hardcore vegetarian. Uh, but I did not realize that vegetarianism is going to end very soon, and I I will have to indulge myself into a lot of other things. So I did my studies from Varanasi and moved to Calcutta, and I was fairly good into my education. In physics, chemistry, maths, I was always above 90%. But I just did not want to do a typical mainstream IIT or a typical IIT MBA combination. I really wanted to be in a hospitality space where professional skill sets can be acquired, and then I'm talking about in 1997. India had Oberoi's and Tajes and Hyatts. You could see that hotels are sort of expanding, and I always fancied myself to be in that glamour. To be quite honest,
Okay.
I did like this whole grandeur and massive lobbies and big chandeliers and food and beverage. So for a kid who is from Varanasi, moving to Calcutta was a big deal. The minute I went into the college, the first day of my college, um, there was a big. So in my induction, I was taken through the various parts of the kitchen and the college institute. So I had to go into the big kitchen where there was my third years already doing some sort of a class, and there was a massive piece of like meat lying on the table. It was a carcass of a lamb. So obviously, I just closed my nose and I started sneaking out. And the faculty saw me and he said, "Come here, come here. What's your name?" And I said, "Sorry, sir." He said, "Why are you doing this? Like, if you really want to do hotel management, you have to be touching this and cutting this." And I said, "I can't do this." He said, "You have to do this." And he took my hand and put inside the ribs and he said, "Feel all this." And that's what you have to start loving. And that was the first day when uh, that Brahmin thing in Pravesh Pandey died. And I said, it needs to move on now to be the survival of the fittest concept. So I said, okay, if I want to
Right.
survive, I have to do this. So that's how I indulged myself into hospitality. Consumerism prevails. I started learning about alcohol and bars and cocktails, and I did my training in ITC in college in my second year of my college, and um, moved out from the college, passed out, and then got into the job. My first job was in ITC Hotels in Calcutta. It was a pre-opening property, and then I really wanted to, move out of the country. I had this little dream of working abroad and seeing the world. Um, I left the job and randomly just went into one train, picked up a general ticket, moved to Bombay without
Okay.
knowing where to be in the city. I reached the station, and then I had this little booklet with numbers. Then those days you didn't have mobile. I mean, it was not
Yes.
easy to
Yes.
afford a mobile. Even if you had a mobile, 9 rupees per minute was an expensive affair.
16 rupees. I have seen it at 16.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So incidentally, then I called my friends and I said, I just need to stay for some days and I'll figure out my job. And uh, so happened that I got a I came to know that there was an interview going around in cruise liners, and for me, cruise liners was then that Titanic movie with those 5,000 people. Again, it was the most exciting part, and I really wanted to travel the world. So I got through, and uh, luckily joined in the next 19 days. I flew down to London, and then it was never looking back. So those were the early
Wow.
days when I realized that fortune will only favor the brave. Luck is not going to be just going to come to me just like that. I really need to work hard. There were a lot of incidents which I learned through those struggling period when I did not have money to pay my rentals. There was a time when I had to sleep in a park for like 2 nights.
Mm.
I remember we used to eat vada pav just to save money. 5 rupees vada pav, 3 rupees vada pav. Those are the times. So there was a struggling days, and then I always wanted to. I had a dream in my mind that one day I will open a bar of my own. One day I'll open a bar of my own. I really want to open a bar of my own, and
Okay.
didn't realize that after 20 years I'll be opening Asia's biggest bar or microbrewery, Big Brewski. But
Wow.
so that happened in the last 22 years.
Amazing. So now that you're going to talk about the biggest bar of Asia, BBBC. So tell us about that story. And one of my friends says that makes you really old, having witnessed the 16 rupees per person. He's telling me that. Yes, thanks. I am old.
Right.
Okay. So
So
tell us about
Big
BBBC.
Brewski, so I traveled across the globe and I saw various formats of restaurants and breweries. I've been to 124 countries in the world, and every country I've been to, I have tried to see what is their local cuisine like, and what is it that makes that local restaurant, local bar very famous. And every territory, every region has its own charm, right? Even Bangalore has its own charm. But when I moved
Yeah.
after working from Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, I moved to Bangalore. I realized that Bangalore is a very different city as compared to Bombay or Delhi or Calcutta. It does not have a very strong heritage, and you can't see those into big buildings. When you Google top 5 things to do in Bangalore, you used to get options like Lal Bagh, Botanical Gardens, and it's not about old historic buildings as such. Tech
Mm.
city, last 20 years has been the time when a lot of people have moved in. So culturally, the city did not have a place where a lot of people can come in together and synergize, right? In
Right.
Delhi, you can go to see those historical monuments. Bombay has the same thing. Calcutta has the same thing. So that those are the characters which add into a city's, sort of nightlife, evening life, restaurants. And so Bangalore has
Right.
been always a pub culture, right? A city which has got a lot of bars and restaurants, and so we wanted to create a large space. And so was happening that, in this last 20 years, we have seen India developing drastically. It has become one of those economic powers, very close to China. Everybody is getting more money, right? People are buying houses, they're buying apartments, they're buying cars. But also, what is happening? The space is becoming smaller. The real estate is
Yeah.
getting expensive.
Yeah.
So the definition of big was actually, in literal words, very small. So if you go to a 4,000 square foot restaurant or a 5,000 square foot restaurant, you will say, oh, it's a big restaurant. But technically, big was above 10,000, 20,000. And I realized in 2015 this whole culture of microbrewery had already picked up. There was Toit, and
Yeah.
there was Beer Library and large places with 10,000 square foot. So we said we need to create larger spaces and asset spaces which are owned by us, and decorate it with our own style of architecture and ambience, which has got all 5 elements of fire, water, breeze, air, everything together. And we realized that there is a huge opportunity to redefine the word big. And what about creating a restaurant which is massive, like 2 acres, which is about 70,000, 80,000 square feet place instead of a 3 to 4,000? Uh, Obviously, it was not an easy task. We did a lot of research. We figured out that if we create a larger place like that, we cannot be in the central business district, CBD area of Bangalore. We need to move outskirts, and outskirts is where the rentals are cheaper. But where exactly in Bangalore? So we had Kanakpura, Hennur. Anyway, so cutting long story short, we decided to create a beautiful experiential center in Bangalore where a typical Bangalorean can be very famous, saying that I have the Asia's largest microbrewery in India in Bangalore. And that was the pride
Okay.
which we gave to a lot of Bangaloreans. World cuisine, more than 200 dishes across the menu, across the globe. So it was created with a pure thought process and advocacy of creating an experience in Bangalore for Bangaloreans where they can be proud and they can bring their travelers, jet setters who are coming to Bangalore. And I think we were
Right.
very successful into creating a brand which became such a powerful brand where a lot of people started following. Everything we started doing was quite innovative. And that was the story of this Big Brewski Brewing Company, which is continuing.
Amazing. Amazing. So Gupta Ashwini says Pravesh sir has made me okay that he has gone up. He's responsible for whatever I'm today. He says, and she says or he says, and then there's one more person who says 124 countries. That's amazing. My that is drinking tale says okay. So the comments keep going up
I
and
really
then
want to thank one important set in my life, which is a set of people who have worked with me, and I have been working with them. The journey of 20, 22 years or 23 years in my life has taught me tremendous, at least in hospitality industry, that is one thing which I have learned is the respect and dignity of human beings. And today, whatever I am, I think it's primarily because of the fact that uh, we have valued humans in hospitality industry a lot. I have sensed people who are I've closely worked with people who are working in utilities, washing dishes, cleaning. It's not the most easiest and the prettiest job to do. You're in the kitchen, working really hard, and
yeah.
hospitality is very hard. 14 hours, 15 hours of a day. So I have sensed the humanity from the lowest level of people working in the industry to the prime minister of the country also while I've served him in some of the events. And in hospitality, that's why we call it you are a street smart person because you can handle an uneducated person to a celebrity and a film star, right? In Bombay, there was a
Right.
restaurant I used to be a part of. We used to always get celebrities, so that was a different Pravesh altogether. So I think the success of any individual lies with how many people he's winning, how many people is he motivating, how many people is he really inspiring in the life. And I'm so thankful to every single person who have come into my life in this journey. Because of those people, only today I am who I am. And I would always
Wow.
like to have this gratitude to all my team members and family members and employees and colleagues. So, yeah.
So good. That is so beautiful. Okay, so Pravesh, tell us. So we went to BBBC, and now let's talk about your paradigm shift. Bisi
Hmm.
Bisi Uta. How did this come into existence?
Quite an interesting moment happened in my life. Some of these events in my life were not going very well 3 years ago, and uh, I decided to go on a self solo trip for about 15, 16 days. I got one or two more people to join me, and I said, let's go to the Himalayas. I've really heard a lot about going right into the Himalayas, and I really want to experience what life is there. Uh,
Yeah.
those 16, 17 days of my life actually changed a lot. I really met the true Pravesh myself, right? In the hearts of my heart, I realized that whatever I was a superficial Pravesh who has been a part of this race, competitive world where you are as a consumer trying to buy something more or acquire something more, or you are selling something to another consumer to acquire something more. So it's a space of it's a vicious cycle that you are a part of. And as human beings, there are two words, human and beings, right? So I realized that I have been a great human, but I did not understand what is the meaning of the word being. Why do we say human beings? And suddenly I got a thought in my life that what is the purpose of me being in this world? Why did I come here? Did I come here to just learn and earn and then go back and die? Or there is a purpose deep within in my life. Uh, So during my trip to Himalayas, one thing I learned from a monk in a monastery called Leh, sorry, it's called Key Monastery. Yeah, I remember that Key Monastery in Spiti. The monk told me that, Pravesh, the purpose of life is only three. You are born to learn, to earn, and then to return. And I did not know
Oh,
what
wow.
meaning. So I did not understand the meaning of return. I said, "What do you mean by return?" He said, "You have to return back. Whatever you have learned, whatever you have earned, there is a way to give it back." And I said, "Who do I give back?" He said, "I don't know. You figure out." And
Wow, that is so good. That is so good.
he told me
Yes.
about a concept called ikigai, which is in
Oh,
Japanese
yeah.
called purpose of life. He gave me a book, and I read that book there, and then I realized that I need to have four circles separately sorted out in my life. One is obviously the passion. The second is profession. The third is vocation, and the fourth is mission. So these four circles are four very strong verticals, which uh, if you have figured out, can positively say that you're sorted out in your life. Your purpose is sorted out, right? I'm and I ask this question to myself: what am I really good at, and what is it that I can do to solve the problem? How am I supposed to return back? And in this trip of my being in the mountains, I realized that I'm so small and insignificant in this universe. Facebook is nothing. 3,000 people or 4,000 people being friends is nothing. The world is really big. The universe is massive. I'm actually not going to make any big difference, but I need to make some difference, right? I need to go back. And I'm really, really small. That gave me a lot of self-actualization. And a couple of changes happened in my body. I don't know, somehow the next very day, I did not feel like drinking alcohol. And I said, okay, I've been in the bars for so many years. I've been drinking almost 3 times a week, and I've been selling alcohol, and enough is enough. I don't know what happened. And I just said, okay, I'll drink it, but I won't drink it like a fish. So that change happened, and I got more into sort of reading books, uh, and slowly and slowly that shift started happening in me about 2.5 years ago. After I came back from the trip, I started looking at the world from a different spectacle. We say that you see the world with the shade which you are wearing. So if you're wearing a yellow shade, the world will look yellow. If you're wearing a blue shade, the world will look blue. And I realized that I was really wearing a wrong shades. The color is very different. I really need to see the world from a clear picture, and that clarity is basically when you elevate yourself from the rest of the world to figure out what is right and what is wrong, and what is the core values, and why are you existing in this universe. That enlightenment really changed my outlook about life, and uh, uh, and I came back with this solid uh, learn to earn to return concept. And where else I could have returned apart from hospitality industry? So I had to do something in F&B industry itself,
100%.
and that's where the idea of BCBC Uta came also in my mind.
Yeah. Amazing. So tell us, like, you decided, okay, so everybody has ideas and everybody has to, execute it. But, there is like all these challenges and this. So tell us, how did you set up Bisi Bisi Uta? What is it all about?
Yeah,
And what were the challenges and the obstacles? Are you
yeah,
feeling okay?
yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
not
So
tired
far,
of
so good.
good.
BCBC Uta's any business for that matter, or any sustainable venture, whether it is a non-for-profit or a social cause, is respected when you can self-sustain yourself. You can't keep going out and begging for donations all the time. There is a shelf life to asking for donations. I always wanted to think about an idea which can be self-sustainable and has got the respect because it is self-sustainable. I thought of a model where we can serve so-called the lowest, the bottom of pyramid at a price point of 30 rupees, which is Shuddha Arogya and Taza meals. But how do we make it sustainable? It was very difficult to start executing. The one good thing about me is that I believe into small, small actions. I don't make huge plans and execution strategies. I do make it, but I don't waste too much of time. I quickly jump into the ocean. If I want to swim, I need to jump and I need to start doing it. Uh, and I did just exactly the same thing. I opened a small kitchen. and I said I need to quickly test whether it will work or not. I opened the kitchen. I got four people, and before even the kitchen was made, I could start seeing people coming inside the kitchen to eat food. There is no plates, there is no tables, and there is people are just saying, "इधर क्या है? खाना है? मुझे खाना चाहिए." So I realized that people don't want to go to restaurants. This kind of people don't. The ones at the bottom of pyramid do not really want to choose restaurants because of taste. They just want to fill up their stomach, and for
Yeah.
them, they just
Yeah.
quick meals, right? So how about creating a model which can not take 30 minutes to cook food, but at 30 seconds to quickly serve food, right? Uh, and I also realized that this fast food world is actually full of processed food and unhealthy food,
Yeah.
right? You look around, the things which you
Yeah.
can process is what you can actually keep it for a longer time as a shelf life, and that's where all your fast food brands are. So the question was, how do we create a fast food brand? Sorry, a fast paced brand and not a fast food brand, and still keep the
Yeah.
health and nutrition and the health and nutrition and the freshness of the food intact, and still
Yeah.
serve people in 15 seconds, right? So we created a cloud kitchen, a central kitchen, which started distributing food to various carts. And there are bistros, which are small cafes, very small cafes, like a 15 feet by 10 feet small cafes. Cute looking. The rentals are like 10,000. And soon we realized that per day we are feeding about 1,200, 1,300 people, and it's going to 1,400 and 1,500. And we
Wow.
had to start buying bigger equipments, bigger utensils. And that was the good testing or the prototyping which was happening in
Right.
October, November, December. So I got more confidence into this model. Only thing is this
Yeah.
that Deepshika, these are marginal models. You don't really make too much profits in this. So the idea is to keep it self-sustainable and then still expand it as a brand. And my mission is to feed India. My vision is to create a brand. When you think about meals, people should talk about Desi Desi. It can be in Delhi, it can be in Tamil Nadu, it can be Hyderabad, it can be anywhere. Um, and that is what is lacking in a city, in a country like India. We don't have brands at a bottom level. Nobody really talks about a brand for the masses. So I think there's a huge
Right.
and there's a very famous saying that fortune lies at the bottom of pyramid. I am yet to explore it. I don't really think, but there is some wisdom in that saying. So let's see how it goes.
I know, that is so nice. Because Madhumita, the lady who gave me your reference, she was like so much praises about you. It's like you
Uh,
have to. I mean, she called me this one morning and she's like, you just have to speak to Pravesh, and then she explained to me what Disi Disi Uta is,
mm.
and so that was so beautiful. So yes, so we were talking about Disi Disi Uta. What were the challenges? Like really, like did you have trouble getting license? Why I want you to tell us about challenges is because there are a lot of people who have ideas
Mm.
but they don't execute it just by the array, there'll be so many this and also
Yeah.
if you name them for us, so you will inspire more people to get out there and start doing these things.
Yeah, no, of course, it's not at all easy. The list of challenges is very high, and I would like to openly tell this because a lot of people think that is good. That it's very easy to create a product like this or a brand like this. You know, what I am trying to do is something which is uh, impossible for a lot of people. And I know this. And the reason why I'm doing it is because it is complex. Because I like complexity. And I'm a mad fellow and I like challenges and I like hustling. And I like to figure out why there is no solution which others can find out. So I'm a very, very different person altogether. There are a huge amount of challenges. First of all, I'm dealing with people in the employees whom I'm dealing with, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have uh, I want to hire a lot of ladies, right? And I have hired a lot of ladies. About 70% of the workforce is ladies right now. But there's
Amazing.
challenges because, they have their own set of challenges. Every week they have got one or two or three, bunkings. Why? Because they've got so much problems at their homes. And it's incredible to even say that when they say, sir, आज नहीं आ पाऊंगी because घर में ये problem है, ये issue है. I realize that, uh, you know, there is genuinely so much of problems at this level in their homes, right? 500 rupees ke liye, they have to take loan and they have to ask 10 people. Uh, I just feel that one is this, that they don't come to work on time because of their so-called challenges. Second is this, that I have to educate them that there is a growth attached to your career. Like they don't really bother about career. They work on a daily wage basis.
Right.
So they can leave you in 15 days or after 40 days or 3 months, you know. And that has been a challenge to instill that thought in them that, hey,
Right.
listen, here, if you
Right.
continue working, you are going to become a supervisor and then you are becoming a manager. All they need is that 500, 600 rupees or 1,000 rupees extra. And I don't blame them. So that's one challenge, that when we deal with the lowest common people, then it comes with its own sets of challenges. Second, it is not, if you are not having systems and processes, then you cannot sustain a model like this, right? I was asking this to somebody and I said, hey, listen, do you think you can make better hamburgers than McDonald's? So somebody said, of course, there are billion people who in the world who will tell you that they will make better hamburgers than McDonald's. But to make 1 billion burgers in one day, right? or from a system-based model, that is something which nobody can do, right?
Right.
Which is what
Right.
McDonald's did. So we learned from brands like this that it's the system and the process which is going to make you become a successful enterprise, right? Otherwise, you will continue struggling like a self-employed. You know, it's like, with due respect to a lot of people who just start their business and they think that they will sustain, they die because they don't understand the value of processes. And to implement processes into a new audience set like this, the consumer behavior is different here. My customers are very different. Unlike Big Brewski, here it's the employees are different. So I'm dealing with a very different and complex set of people. That has been
Yes.
the biggest challenge, to implement processes into their mindset and saying, boss, hygiene is this, coming to duty on the time is this, right? Uniforms is this, wearing mask is so important. It's so challenging to explain them. There is motivation, there is consequences, there is reprimands, there is again rewards. So it's a mix of a lot of things which need to be tried and tested. So first 3 to 4 months, I just learned this. Uh, I just learned how to deal with this set of audience,
Yeah.
because they're not those educated ones coming in having dreams in their eyes. So, yeah, I think that has been the
Correct.
biggest challenge, Deepshika.
Okay. Okay. So Saurabh Chandra says, nice look, sir. Have you changed your look, Pravesh?
Saurabh used to work with me long back in a restaurant called Shiro in Delhi.
Okay.
Hi, Saurabh.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think a lot
Okay.
of people in
Yeah,
our listeners as
you
well.
have a big fan following. Yeah, and Ashwini Gupta again says that because of you, she or he, I don't still know, they built a brand of their own. So that is amazing. So
Ashwini, thank you for
yeah,
this compliment. Thanks a lot.
okay,
Wow.
okay. So moving on, Pravesh, tell us. So you've told us about all the challenges. What is the impact today? Acha, before this, I also want to know that you said bottom of the pyramid. You're also working with differently abled people.
Yeah.
So what's that like? And tell us if you have some success stories of these people.
Yeah, yeah. So we wanted to create a model where more than profits, the purpose has to be sorted out. It has to be an ecosystem. So while we thought about selling food at 30 rupees, which is healthy, hygienic, and in 30 seconds, we also wanted to help the underprivileged women who are sitting at home doing nothing. So give them employment, and
Yeah.
also uh, sort of work with uh, the specially abled lot, right? And I have been in the space of researching in the space of people who are in the spectrum in autism, trying to figure out what are the roles they can play, right? They have certain skill sets which people say this is a weakness, but some of the weaknesses actually, if you look at it, is actually a strength, right? And I started working very closely with Sarbani, who actually started an NGO called Pragati for Livelihood. She also has an autistic school called Bubbles.
Okay.
for children, and I worked with her very closely, and I asked her that is there a way I can give them employment? And hospitality, as I said, is not a rocket science industry. You can easily bring more and more employment, and we need more people. Sarbani's initial excitement was quite motivating for me. I did work on understanding the functionalities, the skills. So, for example, there is a success story. There's a child called, there's actually an adult called Rishabh who just loves to peel pomegranate and peas. So if you give him 10
Wow.
kgs or 20 kgs of peas in the whole day, he will just love doing it. They don't get bored by doing the monotonous work. They actually enjoy it, right?
Okay.
Unlike us, we will do if I ask you to peel garlic for 5 days, you'll just get bored, right? But those guys just enjoy it. So that's a strength to look up to and say, hey, listen, guys, I can give all
Yeah.
these works to them rather than those people who are getting bored. So I worked closely with Sarbani and with 20 kids who are already under training. BCBC Uta started training them to wash the vegetables, cut the vegetables, and process the vegetables, peel them and all, and give it back to
Right.
us. So idea is
Wow.
basically to give them employment, and in this 3 months to 6 months of training, they understand the sense of aromas, flavors. They're very very high on their senses. So when they see
Right.
these colorful vegetables and they start peeling garlic and all, they thoroughly enjoy. They just love it, and parents are even thankful because their kids are now so focused into what they like doing, right? So we enjoyed that collaboration, and with Sarbani, we started working very closely. So today, just because before the lockdown, we have got 6 to 8 people whom we identified as potential employees. But because of second lockdown,
Right.
now the parents are not sending. But that's one other attempt that I want to give employment to those people who cannot play roles in their lives, right? That's the
Right.
most challenging part.
Amazing, because that's how you empower them. Because just I think a week back or 2 weeks back, I was in conversation with Ashaita Majan. They run a beautiful Cafe Arpan, and they're
Yeah,
working with people with autism, and
correct.
that was amazing. That was another very very beautiful. Okay, so tell us, Pravesh, about the impact of your paradigm shift that is had today with BCBC Uta.
So we have got, so imagine that there are multifold impacts which I can talk about. One is that we are already, and during this last 15 to 20 days, with this second wave hitting us so badly, we started
Yeah,
raising funds to feed people in Bangalore who are migrant workers, laborers, or the ones who are stuck in slums and not able to go back. Uh, from the last 20 days, every day on an average, with the help of Madhumita, and I really have to thank Madhumita for, connecting me to those NGOs where we can go and voluntarily help in distributing food. So BCBC Uta is now, in the last 20 days, we have served 20,000 meals to such people. Every day, we are cooking 1,000 to 1,200 meals and distributing into these areas where people are stuck. So that's one of the impact I think we have made positively, and we are continuing this for the next 2 to 3 months. We're trying to raise more funds. We're trying to raise more funds and then serve more and more people. Second impact is that obviously we are very close to employing the autistic adults. I think
okay,
as soon as the COVID passes by, I think we should be able to hire 5 to 6 people. Uh, we have already given a lot of employment to women who are underprivileged, who come from very remote villages. And we are giving employment to, I mean, we are also working with a company called Waycool, which it's also a social enterprise, non for profit. They are
yeah.
picking up vegetables from the farmers. So we choose to work with them where the farmers are they directly supplying the vegetables to us. So these are four impacts which we are making. I think there's lots happening at this
Beautiful.
point, at this time.
Amazing. So, do you have
Thank
any
you.
future plans? Okay, just 1 second. I want to read what Milind Kulkarni has to say. What we learn here today is there is strength in weakness, and it is a way how we look at it. Absolutely, Milind. Well said. And there's a whole lot of.
Hmm.
Okay. So, do you have any future plans with this Visuta?
Yeah, I
if
really want
any?
to.
Right now, they are there.
I think the journey has to be more enjoyable, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this. There are a lot of learnings, operational excellence learning. At this point in time, I'm working very closely with Madhumita to figure out how to get into a bigger kitchen and increase the quantity of meals which we are supplying to the lot. My future is obviously to create it as a brand, non for profit. Uh, but I think the acceleration of what we are trying to do right now is more important as compared to the destination where we are going to go. I'm thoroughly enjoying what I'm doing right now, and I'm serving around 1,500 to 1,600 people per day. Just to accelerate doing this is the focus right now.
Okay.
That's the idea at this point in time.
Amazing. You're doing a wonderful job, Pravesh. So just, just before we move into the last messages for the viewers, I just want to tell everybody that is joining us from Pravesh Pandey, Bisi Bisi Uta, and everybody that has worked for Pravesh, with Pravesh, please follow the page, theparadigmshift.co. We cover beautiful stories of inspiring human beings like Pravesh Pandey, and who go out there, do things that they don't have to. One of my guests said this, and I think that's such a beautiful line. They do things that they don't have to, and they are creating an impact, and they're, doing, it's working for the betterment of the society. That is amazing. And everybody that is joining us from the Paradigm Shift, please follow the Bisi Bisi Uta and Pravesh Pandey. We'll tag them on this interview, the link after the video, and they're doing some amazing job. All a shout out to all my friends in Bangalore. Please follow them and then help however you can. Radha, Bhavna, Sudha Patil, all sorts of people. I'm going to go look at my Bangalore diaries and so that is amazing. And so Pravesh, would you like to add anything here? Any other message for the viewers, for us, for anything?
No, I think one thing I just want to tell that we are living in the world where information and misinformation is overloaded to us, and we are getting extremely confused in what we should do right and what we should do wrong. There are a lot of things which we think about, but we are scared to speak about it. I think it's time
Right.
which COVID has also taught us that try to focus on the on what we have really lost over the last 20, 30 years, which is the humanity, which is compassion, peace. World definitely need to be a happier place to be in, and there are a lot of people who are really struggling, right from food to employability to health. Just the basic need of eating food and medicines for people. It's extremely challenging that we are in a country like India, and uh, I just think that everybody should acknowledge the role of being a human being. Question yourself just the way I did that what is the purpose of you being here? And try and talk to yourself and self actualize that is there one thing or one life or one person you can help in this world today? That is your paradigm shift. And I think that's the message I want to leave audience with to think over.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful. So I think we've tired you enough. I think you should.
Yeah.
You've been giving us beautiful, inspiring talks in the complete this. There is okay, this is my dad. The model of providing people to several people and the system being sustainable is not very clear. Okay, so he wants to know how it is clear. If
Correct.
you
So
have.
sustainability wise, sir, the idea was to charge basically 30 rupees to people who can afford, and that's where we can take care of the rentals and the salaries of the staff. So before even we started giving free meals, the model is basically that everybody just pays 30 rupees, and it becomes like a typical restaurant chain, so to say, where you are getting great healthy meals at 30 rupees. And this way, without making much profits, we can still self-sustain and we can afford the salaries of people. We can give them company accommodation, and we are trying to. That's how we are trying to self-sustain.
Right. Amazing. Okay, so we also, Pravesh, we also accept donations, right?
Yes,
Bisi
yes,
Bisi.
yeah,
Okay. So what we're going to do is, Pravesh, you will provide me with the bank details. So after this interview is aired, I mean, uploaded, we will just put the details down. So whoever feels like coordinating, that'll be very nice. Is there any other questions? Okay. These things just keep moving up and then it's like such a bit. Anyway, Pravesh, that was so beautiful talking to you. Thank you so much for your time and hope you get stronger quick so that you can get back to the beautiful work. I mean, your work is already going on, but you can get back with more renewed strength. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you especially to you for organizing a platform like this. I have been following your page and I really wish you all the best to inspire more and more people.
So sweet. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Smita.
Pravesh.
Thanks
Nice
a
talking
lot.
to you.
Bye bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.